Hello my dear friends, I am Cory and welcome to the third part of the best miniature wargame for beginners. I don't actually remember the last time that I filmed a video in which I talked to you about the miniature wargaming that are best for beginners. I don't remember the last time I published a video, but anyway, the new one is here. And well, what is this video? Basically, I decided to do a little series of video in which I show you all the miniature wargaming, the rule set, etc. that are best in my opinion for the beginners who are just getting into this wonderful hobby, or for those of you who just want to try something different. The rule for this little series of video is just one, and it is that all the games that I'm going to show you are all miniature agnostic, which means that you don't need or require a specific brand of miniatures in order to play all of these games. For example, if you want to play Warhammer 40k, you will need Games Workshop miniatures. If you want to play Age of Sigmar, again, same thing. But in all of the games that I'm going to show you here, you don't need a specific brand. You can use whatever you want as long as it fits the theme or the scale size of the game. But keep in mind, these are not in-depth review of all the games and the rule sets. This is just me talking to you about the things that I like about this game and why I think they are the best for beginners. And if you want to try something different, these are not review that goes into the specific, the rules, etc. No, this is just a little suggestion that I want to give you here. Also, this is not a sponsored video. None of the publisher, creator, etc. that have created these games and these rule books have sponsored me. This is just something that I'm doing because I really love this game. But if you want to buy them, I will still leave the link down in the description along with part 1 and part 2 of this little series. So let's begin with the first game for today. And the first game that I want to show you goes deep into the sci-fi as a theme. It is also a game in which I have a couple of unpopular opinions about, and it is a game from Joseph McCulloch, published by Offspring Game, and it is Stargrave. Now, Stargrave, this is the first unpopular opinion that I have about Stargrave, and it is that this is the best alternative to Kill Team from Warhammer 40k. Now, as I said, Stargrave is a skirmish war game. You are going to assemble a crew, a warband of miniature composed of like 10 models, roughly 10 models, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. It depends, but generally around 10 models. And the great thing about Stargrave, the best part, the thing that I love about this game is that, like Frostgrave, which is the sibling of this game but set in a fantasy world, is that these games are incredibly and very deeply campaign driven. As a campaign driven game, what I mean by that is that after every game your warband just grows, gain more experience, new material, new weapons, and it is something that I really like because this helps you create a story around your warband, something that I really appreciate about the game. Now, unfortunately, Stargrave is a game that sparked a little bit of disappointment around the community of Frostgrave, because when this game came out, it just turned out to be just Frostgrave, but in space, which for a lot of fans and players was a little bit of a disappointment. And this is the other my unpopular opinion, which is this is the exact same reason why this game I think is great. I mean, Frostgrave does have a great rule set, and now Stargrave does have the same rule set, which means that it is a great game by definition, because the rule set is really good and it's just applied to a science fiction kind of theme. Another little plus in this game for me is that, contrary to Frostgrave, the leader of your warband is the captain, then there's the first mate, and then all the crew members. In Frostgrave, the leader of your warband, it will always be the wizard, and then the apprentice, which is something that I don't really like. I prefer to have to decide who is the leader of my warband without having to pick the wizard every time, because I don't like wizards very much. But anyway, this doesn't mean that the game is bad. No, Frostgrave is a great game, but in Stargrave they have changed this little thing that actually makes a difference to me. So, Stargrave. There are also a couple of expansions, which one of them just released recently. And even though this is a miniature agnostic game, there is a line of miniature created specifically for Stargrave. So if you want, you can buy them, but you don't have to. You can use your Star Wars, your Warhammer 40k miniatures, whatever. They works perfectly with this game. So go check it out. For this game, we are just going to jump from sci-fi to post-apocalyptic with a game that fused together Mad Max and Battletech. This game is written by Ash Barker, published by Osprey Game. Again, it is called Gamma Wolves. A game of post-apocalyptic mecha warfare. Generally speaking, when we want to play a tabletop war game, most of the time we're going to use miniatures that represent humanoid figures, sometimes monsters, and also sometimes vehicles like tank, bikes, maybe flying vehicles like helicopters or stuff like that, and sometimes robots. If we want to play a game with only robots, well, we have two alternatives: Battletech or Adeptus Titanicus, but those games are not in a 28mm scale, heroic scale war game, which is most of the time the kind of scale that most of the games use. And here's where Gamma Wolves come to the rescue, because this is a 28mm scale war games in which your warband is composed of giants, robot, mecha, and stuff like that in a post-apocalyptic war. This is the great selling point that I think this is a great game, because you can do whatever you want with your robots. The game just tells you there are three different sizes: small, medium, and heavy. And those sizes are applied to the base size of the model. And of course, the heaviest mecha or robots have more hull point, they can use bigger weapon, and the smallest one are more fast, but also very, very weak when getting shot at. Basically, what I love about this game is that makes us go into an artistic field that we generally don't dip our toes in, which are giant robots, because this game really wants you to create your own robots. There are no rules for it. You can just go wild and create whatever you want. You can convert basically everything. Yes, you can use Imperial Knight or Chaos Knight for Warhammer 40k, but where's the fun in that? I mean, just buy, I don't know, a Gundam plastic model kit and convert it with, I don't know, anything that you can get. Maybe tanks, helicopters, airplanes, whatever, other Gundams. You can create everything that you want. This is a great and cool game, and you can see that Ash Barker really loves giant robots, because the introductions and the photos and all of the artwork that are inside here are amazing. I really suggest you go and check it out, especially if you love robots, because this is something that really makes me want to create and do something different that are our classic miniatures. So Gamma Wolves, go check it out. There are no expansions. This is just one rulebook, which is also very thin. There are like, I don't know, 100, just a little bit more than 100 pages here. And I think that you will be positively impressed by this game for how much fun it is and how many things you can do with just the setting. Now, this game, I'm just going to tell you what it is. Saurian Safari 2nd edition. A game in which you hunt dinosaurs with just one miniatures that represent you as a hunter. Now, I think this is enough. I don't have to tell you anything else about this game. I mean, hunting dinosaurs, miniatures, you don't have to go further. I can just go through the next game and that's it. But anyway, I'm just going to explain you what this game is. Being a set of rules for hunting dinosaurs and other prehistoric creatures in an alternative reality. Based loosely on the memoirs of Sir Rupert Early Barkinge, big game hunter extraordinary, and author of With Steamboat a Rifle in the Mesozoic. This is the introduction of the cover, which is also great because, I mean, just look at it. Just Saurian Safari in a font with the second edition written here with the 3D effect applied using Word. The background in which a tiger, Tyrannosaurus Rex, has been like stumped, just being put there, which is floating also, and this little tiny man that it was applied on top of everything else. I didn't even care if the game was good or bad. I really buy it as it was, which also you may think that this was a PDF, but no, this is how the games arrive. Basically, it is a PDF and they have printed out and then shipped it to me, and it did cost quite a lot. Maybe $10 if I remember correctly, but anyway. Beside being incredibly cheesy, this is a great and fun game that is also good for those of you who have children and want them to start playing with miniatures. Now, the concept of this game is really simple. You can play it most of the time alone because the dinosaurs and all the other animals are controlled by the game, and you just need one miniature, which is the hunter, you in the game. And if others want to play with you, they just need a single miniature, and you will just play against each other and see who can gather the most amount of trophies. Now, why I say that this is great for children? Because I don't know if there is anybody out there that manufacture dinosaur miniatures beside Games Workshop. I mean, you can use those as dinosaur, but there are a lot of dinosaurs here. We are talking like herbivores, carnivores, small dinosaurs, flying dinosaur, swimming dinosaurs, every kind of dinosaur that you can imagine from Jurassic Park is here. So what you might do is go to a toy shop and buy little dinosaur toys. You can buy those for quite a cheap price, and you can repaint them and use them in this game because dinosaurs don't have base size. And it is very simple game. I mean, you just start from the edge of the table, you move, then roll to see if a dinosaur appears. And after it appears, you have to see if your hunter can see it, then shoot it, and you see if it dies. And if you manage to kill the dinosaur, then you get a trophy. Simple as that. Nothing too complicated. Maybe there are too many dice throws sometimes and get a little bit convoluted, but actually this may be a good thing because that way you can introduce the concept of miniature wargame by throwing the dice, because we are going to do that most of the time with playing miniature wargaming. Dices are one of the most crucial part of our games beside the miniatures. So I think that this is the game for the beginners because you don't actually require also a lot of things. You just need one miniatures and some toy dinosaurs and you're good to go. But it is a cheap game meant for having just fun, and it is great. Now, besides the cheesiness of the cover, I mean, this is something really great. Also second edition. I know that there is also a version which is called Mammal Mayhem, I think, which doesn't feature dinosaur but all the classic animals like rhinos, lions, etc. But let's be honest, hunting dinosaurs, it's way more fun than hunting just classic animals. Saurian Safari. Now, don't look the cover of the game. I mean, just buy it and try it for yourself. And let me know down in the comment what you think about it, and also if you know that this game exists, because I don't think that some of you know of its existence. Let's end with a classic, which is a fantasy skirmish war game written by Charles Martin and Craig Cartmel from the Ministry of Gentlemanly Warfare, which is one of the greatest names that I could possibly imagine for something like this. And the game name is Thud and Blunder. Thud and Blunder, which is kind of a misleading name for a fantasy skirmish war game, but nonetheless, this is a very nice and great war game set in a fantasy world. The thing that I love about this game is not that it is revolutionary on its own. I mean, it's a fantasy skirmish war game, like we have seen like a lot of them. But a very cool thing is that it really goes into the Dungeons and Dragons vibes when building your warband. What I mean by that is that your warband can be composed of different races, and all of the races have their specific class that they can be. For example, we have the Barbarians class with all of the different level of expertise, starting, for example, with Fresh Blood, then going through a Warrior, Veteran Warrior, Chieftain, the Shaman, and then on the side of the page we have all of the races that can be Barbarians, for example, Humans, Wild Elves, Savage Halflings, and every one of them have their own skill, characteristic, and different even movement. This is something that I love. Again, I love building a warband with a setting, with a story, with a reason of why that warband is the way it is. Also, one of the greatest things is the magic system, which, as I said, well, at the beginning of this video I said that I don't really enjoy or like wizards, which doesn't mean that I hate them, it's just that I prefer something more direct like a barbarian or a warrior. But magic here is great because they have created a very cool magic system which is very easy to understand because there are just 3 grades of magic, which is grade 0, 1, and 2. And the spells are not generic spells like, yeah, I shoot a fireball and that's it. No, all the spells here have their own, they have the phase in which they can be casted, the range, the duration of the spell, the description of what the spell does. This is one of the greatest magic systems that I have seen. I mean, there are a lot of spells here, everyone with their own effect, with their own thing. I love this. I love this game. Go and check out Thud and Blunder. If you are into fantasy, which is my favorite genre, you will love this game. You will absolutely love this game. In my opinion, this is the greatest fantasy skirmish war game. Maybe not very good for beginners because there are a lot of things that you have to understand. There are other fantasy skirmish war game that you can try if you are a beginner, but after that, just go to Thud and Blunder. It is a great game. Also, the book is incredibly cool. I already said that, but I mean, there are a lot of photos. The rules are explained in a very easy way to understand them. The miniatures painted here are great. Very nice book. I hope I would love to see more games, more rule books written and presented like this one. I cannot recommend it enough, as I said. Anyway, Thud and Blunder, go check it out. Alright, my dear friends, these are the games that I've shown you here in this video. Let me know down in the comments what you think about them, if you already know them, if you have already played them, or if you just decided that this is something that you need to try because you never see something like that. I bet the Saurian Safari, not a lot of you know this game, but anyway, let me know down in the comments what you think about them. Also, if you like this video, click the like button and subscribe if you want to see more on this channel, and down in the description you will find the links for all the books that I've shown you here, part 1 and part 2 of this little series of videos, and also the link to my Instagram account if you want to follow me there, and the link to my Ko-fi if you want to donate and support me, which you don't have to do, but if you want, well, I am extremely grateful and thankful to you. So my friends, I hope you liked this video and I hope to see you very soon the next time. Bye bye, my friend. Ciao, ciao.